All right, everybody. Thank you very much for coming up this evening. I want to welcome Arshad Khan. He's a home inspector that's going to talk to us about common insurance issues that happen when I guess he's inspecting homes. So we know what kind of pitfalls to look for. So thank you very much for coming this evening. If you want to come here, I'll share your presentation. So I'm just going to go to share screen here. And this is your presentation right here, right?
Yeah, I will just swap with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to move this out of your way. I'm just going to man and see if anybody else joins. And you're going to do it with that, right?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. Welcome.
Okay. Start.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Well, thank you, Christine, for the opportunity, and thank you all those who are there. I don't know how many people are there, and thank you all for your time. My name is Arshad Khan, and I'm the owner of Quality Spec Building Inspection Company. Quality Spec is almost 18 years old company. I've inspected over 6,000 homes and also do commercial. I've inspected over 500 commercials. So what does that mean to you is that your inspector has a broader knowledge other than the house. I have my cheat sheet here. So
that's okay.
We actually, so about myself, I am a structural engineer by profession. I went to Durham College for my trade course for 6 months because again, I didn't know about the HVAC, electrical, plumbing. I also certified with NACHI. Those who don't know, it's National Association of Certified Home Inspector. It's US basically organization. What does that mean to you? Is that your inspector is current with all the codes and everything. Also, we have a professional website, so you and your client can go there. If you have any question, you want to know about the home inspection, what we do. So everything is there. I use all the tools, all the tech that nowadays we have. I use drone, I have telescopic pole, CO detector, gas leak detector. I have a lot of my Sri Lankan clients, they worry about the power lines. So I have an EMS meter as well, just to give them peace of mind that we are very close to the laptop. We're getting more EMS than those lines. Those are basically required by the code. It has to be 15 to 30 feet away, sorry, 30 to 40 feet away from the house. So again, we don't worry about that stuff. It's all code, but people still worry. So those gadgets help them. We have a newsletter we send out every month. I'll ask request Christine to forward your email addresses, so you will get all these newsletters. They are free for your clients. Very good newsletters. You can share with your clients as well. Good information. It's all free. Website I talked about, and so we have a professional website, and also our phone is being monitored from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., which means that if you have any question before and after inspection, we're there to help you out. Okay, so today, my topic is insurance coverage issue affecting older homes. I don't know, a lot of people, those who don't know, because especially today, it's bidding war, you buy the house, you don't know a lot of things, and when you go to the insurance company, there are a lot of issues there. Before I start that, I always say that I am not a deal breaker when you're working with me, because I understand you guys work really hard. Sometimes it takes months or a year to find a house for a client, because we are all structural engineer. We know how to use the proper words a lot of time. As you guys know, this industry is not regulated. So a lot of people, those who are not qualified, are into this business, and they use this language, holy shit, the roof is gone, all this. We don't use that. I educate them, listen, the roof has reached to its end of lifespan and needs replacement in the near future. You got to tell them how much is the cost and stuff like that. So I help them. Every house has issues. As far as you educate them, we are okay. We're not there to scare them, okay? So keep in mind, if you're dealing with me, I believe in education rather than scaring the people. Okay, so I'm going to start this. Christine, going to be here?
Yeah, I'm going to be fine. Just in case anybody enters, I'm going to man it for you.
Okay, so do I have to be here or?
No, you don't have to be. I can turn it towards you.
Good. So let's start. My thing is not working. What's happening?
Maybe because I have it shared on the screen. Do you want me to flick it? Will it work this way?
This thing was basically.
But I'm also sharing it on Zoom. So maybe if I go like this, let's see. Oh,
Yeah,
there you
can
go.
do
I
that.
might have to do it for you.
Okay, that's happening. It's okay.
Okay.
It's good. There you go. Okay.
Oh, there you go. You got it
Okay.
now. Okay.
So if you're a client buying a home over 40 years or older, your insurance company may require you to upgrade plumbing, electrical system prior to giving you the home insurance. All right. So again, so these are the items that insurance company basically make a fuss about it. Keep in mind, nowadays it's much better than I would say probably 5-6 years back. You will get the insurance, but again, there's certain things, for example, like galvanized, you will get it. They will make a fuss about it, but you will get it a little bit more premium. 60 amps, you have to upgrade to 100 amps. Minimum requirement is 100 amps. Knob and tube, again, there's nothing wrong with the knob and tube, but if it's there, it scares them. They want to do due diligence, and I'll show you what exactly needs to be done. Aluminum, again, there's nothing wrong with aluminum as a technical point of view, but still there's certain thing needs to be done. Fuel oil tanks, wood burning stove, and the fire separation walls. I added this last year because I came across, I did a house over 80 years old, and they came up with this question, what type of fire separation you have? And again, if you don't know, it's a big issue, okay? So we'll go one by one and I'll explain details. So make sure that you factor the cost, okay? For the all necessary upgrades. For example, if they're saying you have 60 amps, you have to upgrade to 100 amps. So we're looking at least $2,000, okay? So just make sure that you factor that before you purchase any house over 60 years old. If you guys, any question, please stop me and ask during that. I don't mind. All right, so let's start with galvanized. So galvanized plumbing, and I have the pictures. I'll show it to you as well, how it looks like. It was installed prior to 1950. Okay, so basically, what was the problem? So these pipes, they rust corrode from inside. So this thing works.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's because when I let people in, I think I make you lose
Oh, I
control
see.
there.
There you go.
There you go.
So, so that's the cast iron, this one. This is galvanized. You see a little bit shiny. And again, this is galvanized. So we're going to come back to it. So what happens? So rust and corrosion inside it. That's why insurance company worry about it, okay? And because it has a life. So now what happens? Because these are the main line, 4-inch. So it reduces the pressure. So restricting the flow of the water. Again, and it has a life of generally 40 to 50 years of the life. So that's why for the houses over 60 years, insurance companies worry about these things of the leaking and all this. Again, it's a cost, right? So again, like I say, some insurance company, they're refusing, but most of them, they will give it to you with a higher premium, okay? So the life's like at 40 to 50 years. And again, the problem is the pressure restricting of the flow of the water. So again, so this is normally you see underneath the sink. So that's galvanized. Also, older home, our main line is also galvanized. So that's also, they worry about that, okay? Copper, again, is better. So a lot of insurance company, they question. So this is galvanized again. That's the main stack there. And that's the cast iron again. Cast iron, they're okay with it, but they still, if they find out what's the lifespan, a little bit issue with that as well, okay? So this is what happens from inside. You see that? All the blockage. So it restricts the flow. And again, it can sometimes break. And that's why it worries the insurance companies. Okay. So let me just go quickly. Now, number 2, 60 amps. Okay. So 60 amps, basically, they were installed prior to 1950. Okay. So the current code requires 100 amps minimum. So we need 100 amp minimum. So if a house has 60 amps, you have to upgrade before you, there will be probably a grace period, probably a month or two, but you have to upgrade to 100 amps, which is around, like I said, $2,000, okay, plus minus. So basically, it's not considered unsafe, okay? So a lot of people just say, why? It's not unsafe. It's just a few things, few issue. So they're basically, number one, the increased risk of amateur work. And I'll show you what people do because the panel is smaller. And for example, if you're living in a bungalow and you're upgrading the basement, now you're adding more rooms, more outlets. So when you tap into it, now you don't have enough breakers. So you go a couple of wires called multi-tapping. They don't like that. Okay, this is called fire hazard. Okay, so there are two factors. So one is the amateur work, and second, the improper fuse size. So what happened a lot of time, I'll show you the pictures coming through. If you have a 15 amps fuse, a lot of people think, oh, it's keep blowing. Let me put 20 amps or 30 amps. And that causes fire, okay? Because a lot of people don't know. So see here, so these are the panels. See the panel, they were very small. And look at this. So this is the fear to the insurance companies, okay? So both of these safety issues, like what I told you, is basically overheat the wire, distribution wire, and cause the electrical fire, okay? And as I mentioned before that the upgrade from 60 to 100 amps costs from 15, not 15, I would just say you're going to 2,000, 2,500 nowadays. Everything is expensive, okay? So if you guys remember, so these were the fuses. So again, like I say, when the people don't put the proper fuse size, the problem begins. So again, number third, sorry, so knob and tube, okay? So they, again, a house over 50 years, you will see knob and tube wiring. Like I said, it's still considered a safe system, but there are a few things why the insurance company worry about. So if you, I'll show you the pictures coming. So basically, knob and tube, there was a black, which is a hot wire, and a neutral. We did not have ground wire, so it was missing in that. Today's Romex has ground. Grounding is important because it protects you from electrocution, okay? So if it's professionally maintained, it's still the safe. So there's some concerns with the system. So number one, there's no ground, as I mentioned, okay? And that's a safety issue. If fear exists that the black wire can make contact with the white, which is the neutral, okay? And the pictures are coming, you'll see what I mean. And also, knob and tube has a cloth insulation and rubber. So around the knob and tube, if they break down, again, a potential fire hazard. So that's the safety issue again, okay? Now again, as I mentioned, so the issue started with the changing lifestyle. So most of the home, they do not have many electrical outlets. So if you add down the road and you tied it up to the old wiring, rather than starting a new circuit to the electrical panel, it's called multi-tapping. You overloading the fuse, and again, the spark and fire. So this is how it looks like. See knob and tube, see here? So that's the original. So see, they go parallel. Now see here, the cloth, if it's damaged, they can touch. So this is the fear, okay? See, they're all going to the one hole there, and then from there, we don't know, okay? So see knob and tube, so that's how it was installed. There's no ground wire. Again, safety point of view, yes, we require grounding nowadays. And also, you see all this kind of work. So what, as a home inspector, we have a limitation. When we go, I don't open the walls, right? So my best bet is I look at the electrical panel, and then I look at the outlet. So what's in the middle, which people do, so what they do, see knob and tube is connected to a newer wire, Romex. So they did not replace everything. So from electrical panel till here, the rest is knob and tube. When people start to do renovating, they call me, they say, listen, we have knob and tube. I say, well, I wish if you open the wall for me, I would know, right? So this is something we recommend electrician at this point. You know what, electrician has to open up and see what's going on, right? So you see, look at this, what is happening. So we got newer and older. So these are all the knob and tube. So people still mix and match. And again, this is the problem insurance company are worried about, okay? All right, so number 4, aluminum. Okay, so house between 1965 and 1976, they have aluminum. We still have aluminum. A lot of people ask, do we have to replace? No, we don't have to. Aluminum is still a safe wire.
It's just few things need to be done, and I'll show you that in a minute. Insurance company has to know, like I said, they will charge you a little bit more, but they will insure you. So problem is basically overheating with the aluminum wiring at the terminals. So these are the terminals, okay? And I don't know if you guys noticed, the aluminum gauge is thicker than the copper, okay? So the problem with aluminum is 110 volts. See these circuits, not the big guys. The furnace, stove, dryer. So 220 volts is okay because those are the thicker gauge and they're okay. So normally the problem of overheating is with 110 these outlets. Did you touch again something?
Oh, yeah, I did. So every time I let somebody in the room, that's why.
Okay. All right, so again, see the 220, as I mentioned, is basically okay for the big equipment, air conditioning, heating, dryers, stove, they're acceptable, okay? Now, what happens to protect this corrosion and everything, we use an antioxidant paste. This is what insurance company requires. That's what they ask you for a certificate from electrician. So when you go to the insurance company, they say, we have aluminum, they will say, okay, I need a certificate from electrician, and they will just want to make sure that this antioxidant paste is applied to the electrical outlet. I'll show you this coming. So this is what they concerned with. This paste keep the wire cool. So aluminum expand and contract, causing spark. So this antioxidant paste will take care of it. Okay, so this is what they require now. Okay, and also where you connect the aluminum and copper, you have to do a proper mirror. Okay, a right mirror connection. Again, all this stuff has to be done professionally. You have to bring an electrician for that.
You're gonna lose it again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There you go.
There you go. So even like, say like aluminum, our main conduit coming from the city is all aluminum. It's inside the house only copper. So there's nothing wrong with aluminum. It's just a safety, a little bit safety. So here, like I mentioned, 220 volt, that's for the stoves. So this is fine for the aluminum. This is the paste we're talking about. Now, you see a lot of people ask me, the realtor also, they say how it looks like how you know there's aluminum and there's copper. So you see the gray one? So you look at the terminal right here, this is aluminum and the copper right here. Okay, so now here at this terminal, that paste needs to be applied. It's called antioxidant paste. So this will keep this area cool in case it's expanding and contracting, and it will not cause a fire. Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so here they basically ask for pigtailing. What is pigtail? So if you have aluminum in the house and you have to change the receptacles, which are the outlets, we call receptacles. So the receptacles has to be pigtail. So what does pigtail mean? This is a proper device. It's called coupler. Okay, so basically you adding a copper. This is your outlet here, and that's your aluminum wire coming into it. So this device will take care of it. Again, it has antioxidant paste. So this is what they require. They ask a pigtailing. They say, I need to know you guys have done pigtail, and again, they ask a certificate from electrician. So this is called pigtailing. If you don't do a pigtail, see, this is what happens. So you connect in copper, aluminum, fire. That's improper, okay? So this is what their fear is. So what to do again? Do a home inspection. And because again, you don't open an electrical panel, you don't know much detail. So we find out that information and educate you in the client, okay? So again, like I said, they ask for a certified electrician to complete the inspection for you. So again, a good education here. So this is aluminum and that's copper. That's how it looks like. So this is when I open the terminal, the electrical panel. So I look right here. You see that's aluminum and that's the copper. So if you remember that, you're the expert. All right. So that's how you find out how much aluminum, how much copper we have. Again, this is basically a right way of doing it. These electrical outlets called CUAL outlets, copper aluminum revised. It has antioxidant paste in them. You can connect aluminum into it, no problem. This is the wrong way. And again, all the fire and burn. That's what happens. Same thing, all the pictures that basically the wires heats up at the terminal and cause the fire. So this was the house fire due to aluminum. Number 5, fuel oil tanks. Okay, so if the house is older, if the oil tank is 15 years or older, the insurance company will require you to replace it. Okay, you have to. They will not give you insurance. I did a home 2 days back. Same thing. It was like probably 18 years old. Same thing. They call the insurance company to say, "Well, upgrade." Keep in mind, again, we are backlogged. So rather, I will just convert to propane gas, which is again much faster, cheaper. You can get it, all this stuff. So if it's over 1500, 15 years, not 100. So you have to replace. They'll ask that. Okay. And again, they won't provide a protection plan. So the suggestion is replace to the natural gas, and I'll tell you the cost of natural gas. The propane tank is coming in the next slide. Okay. So those who get the replacing, without the replacing their oil tank, again, they face higher premium. I don't know how much higher, but normally it's higher. Okay. So basically, it's over 7,000 oil tanks spilled in Canada every year. Okay. And that costs basically millions of dollars. And also the number is coming like from $5,000, $150,000 if there's any spill. Okay. So again, 7,000 oil tanks spill in Canada every year is happening. Our oil is still heating 1.5 million Canadian homes. Okay. And again, like I said, so 1960, 1970, they were installed during that time. So propane tank, I just added this today. A lot of people ask me that how much is propane and what it costs. So a 500-gallon propane tank costs $1,500. Underground propane tank costs $1,600 to $2,400. A lot of people ask owning or rental. I would say owning is better. You can shop around for the cheaper gas. And the life of the tank is 20 to 30 years. Average of 2,000 square feet house requires 880 gallons of propane. And the cost is basically $1,200 to $1,800 for 5 months. So if you fill that up, so a house up to 2,000 square feet, you need at least 500 plus gallons. Okay. Okay. So the problem with the tank are the pinprick hole. Okay, so it's a very tiny hole in the tank. Older tank, they were not rust protected or corrosion protected. The newer one, they are. So that's what the fear. Okay, so the basically pinprick hole can cause a fuel leak. Okay. So again, like I said, the fuel supply also, they won't take you if it's older or not inspected properly. So the coverage, okay, make sure that you have the coverage for the environmental damage and your property and your neighbor. Because again, a lot of people don't read that stuff, and sometimes you're not covered. Within you're covered, but you're not. So make sure that you find that out before you sign the deal. So most of the companies, insurance companies, they will cover the cost, okay? But not all policies clean up, they cover the cleanup or the replacement costs, okay? Actually, the earth and everything, and I'll show you the pictures coming. Honestly, it's a lot of money to worry about, okay? So again, insurance claim due to oil tank leaks and rupture increased 50% every year for the past 5 years. So a pinprick hole can spill 750 liters of oil in 8 hours, and cleanup is from 5,000 to 150. So basically, you're looking at this range, not this. It costs to replace the tank from 7 to 15. I would just say not 7. That's probably a smaller tank, but 1,500 you're looking. And also, the tank should be at least 15 meters away from the water well, if there's a water well close to the house. Okay. And again, there's a backlog. Okay, so 4 months, you don't get it right away. Okay, so what's the problem with the underground tanks? Okay, so if the tank is over 25 years old, okay, so basically they're not protected with the corrosion like the newer tanks. So again, if there's any leak, so there's it contaminate the soil and the groundwater. So what exactly we check when we go there? But it's not only the tank. So basically, we also look for the fill and vent. The picture is coming, I'll show you. And for the oil supply and the outlet line with the filter valve and the filter. So these are the important things. I'm talking about the above ground oil tank. Underground, nobody knows what's going on with that. Okay. So this is above ground. So again, so the fill and the vent, these are the two stuff we look for, and the filter. So these are the areas, are the problematic areas. So if there's anything, you see it, then there's a problem. So the underground tank, again, like I said, we cannot see. The only thing is if I see the fill and the vent, and if this is coming inside, so that's underground. Same thing, like I said, if they leak, it's a problem. You can also call the supplier to help you out testing. You know, these companies, I'm not sure every company tests that, but supplier can help you out with that. So this is what happens. There was an oil leak. So you see that all the digging? Wood burning stove. If you have a wood burning stove in the house, again, insurance company require a WETT, Wood Energy Technology Transfer. This costs only $250, $300. All depends where you are. If it's far, probably more money. So they require that. Okay. And again, so chimney should be conformed to modern standard. Appliances far enough away from the combustible surfaces. Appliance has rated for the Ontario. Has to be rated for Ontario building code. Okay. And also, again, if it's not installed properly, it's a serious fire hazard. So the unit has to be ULC and CSA certified. Okay. So there are basically 5 points insurance company will concern with. And was it installed professionally? A building permit was issued for that or not? The clearance, basically. We should be at least 2 feet away from the walls. Okay. And also the venting, is it done properly or not? So ideally, no elbow, I'll show you the pictures coming, basically is better, or the shorter is possible. So if there's more elbow, again, that's what they'll look for. So number of basically safety or steps that required for the maintenance. Clean it basically every 2 years, inspect it at least twice a year for the soot built up. Clean that because soot can cause fire. And you should have a smoke alarm and fire extinguisher close to the unit. So you see here, this is what we're talking about. If you have this, so vet inspection is required, and all this has to be inspected. So see the elbow, very short one, that's a good one. And this unit should be at least 2 feet away from the wall. So again, this fire was because of that. Number 7, fire separation wall. So like I told you, I came across, I guess, last year. So I added this slide. The insurance company asks you what kind of fire separation you have. So there are 2 types. So one is the gypsum, which is this guy. And the next picture will show the detail what exactly is comprised of. And the second one is 8 to 12 inches of the masonry wall without interior finish. Okay. Some basically insure will not insure insole brick. See, this is insole. This is a fake. This is basically not a brick. It's a sheet, right? So if we have this, because it might contain asbestos. So when they hear about this, so again, so the other one is the gypsum, which is again very rare. Mostly we have for the concrete one. Okay, so any house over 80 years of older, so basically the fire separation wall issue, again, they ask. So again, a better picture. So basically, what are the components in there? You don't worry about that stuff. All right, so those were the issues with the insurance. Now, I added some other problem with the older homes that we look for. So there are 3 things. So number 1, the vermiculite insulation, UFI, asbestos. So vermiculite insulation was basically installed in the attic. I'll show you the pictures. If you have this insulation in the attic, the cost of replacing is a lot. You're looking at least, if it's a bungalow, you're looking at least $10,000 to $15,000. Vermiculite can contain asbestos, depend how much you have to test it out in the lab. If it's over 1%, it has to be removed. If it's under, because you're not exposed to it, but still it's a question mark. Everybody treats is different. People hear asbestos, they just freak out, right? But these are not airborne. This is in the attic. So usually, again, I'll show you where they are, and asbestos. So number one, so vermiculite, basically from 1920 to mid 80s. Basically, it's a mineral, right? It's a natural occurring mineral, and it's basically, it was a cheap insulation, so that's where they installed it. Later on, they found out that certain batch of vermiculite, basically sold in Canada, contains a trace amount of asbestos. So this is how it looks like. That's the attic. So see the chunk insulation. Now again, the attic hatches closed. You're not there. They're not airborne. A lot of people just freak out. Honestly, I educate them. The only concern to me is the cost to removing this. Like I said, $10,000 to $15,000. Okay. So if it's left undisturbed, no problem. Okay. So urea formaldehyde, again, a lot of people worry about that. When you buy a new carpet, all the smell, that's you, right? That's formaldehyde. So you don't worry about that, but people worry about this. Again, this was installed during 1970s. Even if we have it, all the fumes are gone, done. Okay, so it's just there. You don't worry about it. Again, it's a foamy material. It's there. You don't disturb it. You're fine. No need to worry about. Okay. So basically, it was done in the wall cavities. Okay. As an energy conservation. So it looks like a white or a tan color, like this. So see, if the house is not finished, this is in the basement. Okay. So you can see right away. But other than that, you got to cut it. Okay, if you don't cut it, you don't know. But just imagine, I mean, it's all dried out. Okay. Asbestos, okay, so again, it's a mineral. Basically, 3/4 of the world's supply comes from Canada. We don't use it, but we supply. Okay. So basically, it was widespread until 1940. It was used around the duct system because we had those older furnaces, oil furnaces. It was around the duct system. I'll show you where it was, how you find out. So again, see 100,000 schools and 700,000 public and commercial buildings still have. So basically, it's everywhere. So here this is. You see that? This stuff there that contains asbestos. And also, if you remove the duct, you see this insulation, the white, that's asbestos, contains asbestos. So now 99% removed from the homes. When I remove the duct, I see this. And see, this is all is left. A lot of people think we have a lot. No, I don't know why they left this much, but if you don't disturb it, honestly, you're fine. Okay. So this is the vermiculite asbestos. Any question? Okay, can I come over there?
Sure, you can come over here. I'll stop the share so we can see people online if they have any questions.
How many people are there?
There were 10. There we go. I think Sarah was on there too. Yeah, and then however many here. So does anybody online have a question
Anybody?
for Arshad? It was a really good presentation because you put the pictures in, which is helpful for us daily
Yes.
while we're going along, doing our job, so we can recognize these things. So even though you shouldn't give your clients expert advice and tell them what it is, you might be able to say, hey, I think that looks like whatever it was, from the pictures. So that's really good because we don't often get that. So that was excellent. What about Kitech Plumbing?
Everything is coming, so it depends how often you call me.
Yeah.
So I have a Kitech presentation. I have
Awesome.
Septic. There's so many, Radon. I mean, there's tons of presentation.
Okay.
Just let me know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
give you
really
time.
good, especially like I say, it's such a good guy with all the pictures and everything.
Exactly.
I've heard before, when you go into houses and you see those old like vinyl tiles sticking, but a lot of those have asbestos in them too, especially if they're smaller than
Not the
12 by
vinyl.
12.
Not the vinyl. 6x6.
6 by 6, the smaller ones. That's what I'm saying,
Exactly.
right?
It looks like porcelain,
Mm-hmm.
but but it's vinyl.
Yeah.
So 6x6, they contain asbestos.
Yeah, they say if it's smaller than 12 by 12, then it's definitely an asbestos thing. So you want to let your clients know that if they go to scrape that up, they can't do that on their own because it's when you disturb it that the asbestos goes
And
in
it's
the
very
air
easy
and
to remove.
cancer causing, right?
You just throw like
any soap with the water, soak it, and then scrape it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You don't have to go professional, spend a
Mhm.
lot
But
of
you
money.
should be wearing a mask because it's airborne. If you scrape
And
and break up
exactly.
any
Yeah,
of the tiles.
that's why you
right?
soak it. When you soak it well, you're fine. Sorry.
Yes, Sarah.
What about carry-on warranty? Like, what exactly does that cover?
That's a good question. Honestly, Terion does not cover these things. They don't worry about that stuff. They don't worry about your health or anything else. Terion is just like
Structural.
first 7 years. So
Mhm.
first 2 years, I mean, depends who is doing like your anything cosmetic in the house, tiles, drywalls, furnace, AC, and then 7 years the structure. If God forbid the roof is gone, so trusses and all this. Cracks also, and they cover that. If there's a leak, if there's a crack, if it's not leaking, they don't. So I don't know much detail, but they don't worry about that stuff.
Mhm. Mhm. Anything else you guys have come across in your travels with home inspections? It's very good that you mentioned at the beginning of your presentation too, that you don't kind of scare everybody, because
Yeah.
I actually had a regular home inspector I used for a number of years, and he got to be really busy. And I had this deal that I've been working with for a very long time with these people. And he sent his associate, this guy he had hired, along and totally killed the deal, because everything was, oh my God, look at this, oh my God. And there weren't even that major things like, loose boards in the deck and stuff like this, right? And roofs that need to be repaired. And he totally killed the deal. So I called that inspector back and I said, I won't hire you ever again unless you come yourself. I said, because that guy was no good.
A lot of time, even the realtors, when
Yeah.
they are with me, they say, oh, the railing is missing. I say, listen, I'm not here for railing and stuff like that or broken tires. People can see this.
Yeah.
I tell them, yes, install it. It's
Mhm.
safety,
Mhm.
right? We're here for the big stuff. I mean, if the structure, if the
Mhm.
walls have been removed, the house is sagging,
Mhm.
there's electrical issues.
Mhm.
Is there any plumbing issues? Is there a mold in the attic or anything else? Those are big items.
Mhm.
The roof, again, like I said, got to tell them, educate them. But small things, again, no, we're not there. Oh, the trim is not good, this and that. The more you bring, they get scared. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't talk about these things. I say, no, that's a normal wear and tear.
Mhm.
So we're here for the big item. Home inspection is not about small stuff.
Mhm.
So big stuff, educate them. Hey, listen, everything has a life. This is the life. How much life is left? How much is going to cost you? That's it. Factor the price. Talk to your realtor.
Mhm.
See what they can do for you.
Someone online said, very informative and great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
Bilkis.
would like to know about the latent defect.
Sorry, Deepa, I'll ask you.
Latent effect.
Like ones you can't see. So that's exactly
Oh,
what he's talking
again, like
about.
I said,
Yeah.
we're not doing invasive,
Mhm.
right? So for example, I give example, if we have knob and tube behind the wall, the rest, the panel is upgraded and outlets are upgraded, but they still left the knob and tube behind the wall. If I don't see it, I cannot comment. I don't know, right? So if you're telling me behind the walls, honestly, I can't tell. Anything is, if something is visual, right? For example, structure, I can tell if something is done, the walls have been removed. So I question, listen, who did it? Is there any documentation? Did you go for the permit? Stuff like that, because I see the sagging, right? I have tools. I'll just make sure, you can see all the doors, if because how sag over the years. So structure is number one. Electrical number two. Plumbing, things happens. I don't worry with plumbing too much as well, because if it's not happening today, after a month can happen. The main thing is electrical, plumbing, and all these things. Structure. These are the items behind the wall. Cosmetic things, all this. Honestly, it's very tough because we're not doing invasive.
We have a question online here. Okay, Deepa, there you go. You can unmute. Hi.
It was a good presentation. Thank you so much for that. If you can cover on the next presentation about the septic, that would be great, because a lot of people are into buying nearby lakeside or older houses. So I think we need more information on that. So if you can do the presentation on the next time, that would be great.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely. I have a very nice presentation for septic,
Well,
sewer ejector system, well water.
perfect.
So you'll love
I
it.
think that'd definitely be a good one, because
Yes.
it's popular right now with COVID. We have a
It's
lot of
been fun,
clients
yeah.
buying cottage or like at least rural properties,
I
right?
did two cottages for
Mhm.
past 2 days. I went there, well, septic, everything. So yes, next time, whenever Christine invite me, I will just.
Absolutely. We'll book a date. Don't worry. Did you have a question?
Great. Thank you.
Oh, I had to put your hand up.
You talk about, so septic is number one.
Mhm.
Also, Kitech, you mentioned, I
Kitech,
have a
yeah.
nice presentation on that. And there are tons of others.
Mhm.
Infrared, what it does, what we look for. A lot of people just get confused. So radon, okay, how it happens, it comes in the house, what needs to be done.
Mhm.
There's so many. If you want to go electrical, I got tons of information that I can share and come and educate you guys.
That's perfect. That'd be awesome. All right, anybody need no more questions? All right, thank you
Good,
very
guys.
much for coming out.
Thank you,
Like I say,
guys.
it was
Thank
an
you,
excellent
everyone. Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone online. I'll see you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna give you guys.